Hello, I am your host, Robert Lee Taylor. Welcome to another episode of Strategic Rap Intelligence. Today, we are going to embark upon the journey of book reviews. We are going to make book reviews a large part of this show. If you're a book aficionado, book lover, then you should be most pleased in knowing that now here on the World Wide Web, Strategic Rap Intelligence, you can now hear the latest reviews from yours truly, Robert Lee Taylor. I've always been a book lover. I have quite a comprehensive library of both textbooks and maps. I'm also very much into cartography, geographic information systems, GIS. I had the privilege of taking a geography course back in my first couple of years of college back on the West Coast and realized how much I really loved and enjoyed geography. I also had the privilege and honor of being able to indulge in driving back and forth between the United States and Canada, given my close proximity to Canada when I lived on the West Coast. I've been to Canada approximately 19 times. It was roughly an hour and a half from where I lived. So, given that, I studied U.S.-Canada relations and have read innumerable country studies on the subject of Canada, the Pacific Rim, and what have you. The CIA World Factbook is quite an impressive publication, to say the least. Naturally, coming from the U.S. government's Central Intelligence Agency, the World Factbook encompasses a great deal of information related to economic intelligence, political intelligence, business, culture, society, birth and death rate, natural birth and death rate,
crop science technology,
all the different maths and ratios and formulas that one can and could conceivably think about, fathom with respect to statistics of different countries, the number of telephones in a country, the number of microwave systems in use,
for communication,
the number of persons in the country, obviously population. You have the amount of people who are available and fit for military service duty. You have land size. You have GDP, gross domestic product, gross domestic output. You have the names of the heads of state. You have information regarding transnational issues, drug, weapons, intelligence. You have information regarding the history of each individual country. And it's just this huge, mammoth, colossal wealth of information. Well, with respect to the new World Factbook for 2010, if you have had an opportunity to review the publication, you will notice that it is said that there are over 63 years worth of CIA information jam-packed into the one World Factbook for 2010. I was just doing some research and was on page, I believe, 830 and just scanning what appeared to be endless information. And it's fascinating. It's mind-staggering what exists just on planet Earth alone in terms of intelligence, information about different nations, states, parastate, terrorist groups, counter-terrorist organizations, corporations, businesses, anything you can think of that relates to a country's information about atmospheric conditions, certain organizations that each of the individual countries is a member of, like the Kyoto Protocol, the Geneva Convention. And when you read the World Factbook, if you never have, you begin to see the world in a different light. It puts things into perspective for an individual in ways that you don't see the world if you don't consume this kind of information. And for those who don't really know, the CIA produces information for numerous consumers, not just the U.S. government. It also produces information for the general public, and it makes its information available typically at no cost. Now, there are some publications, various maps and whatnot, that are available at cost, but what you find for sale in terms of geography books and what you will, you can really get the same information for free via the CIA medium of the World Factbook. Now, I read my first CIA World Factbook back when I was in high school and was a big purveyor of using the public library system. Since a youth, that was my outlet. I spent the first 20 years of my life and 2 years outside high school. Well, really, I've never stopped. Now I have my own, laboratory and my own library and my own personal study But throughout my entire youth, I was at the library, and I studied at the library, and I was just amazed at what information humans had generated over the ages. And so at some point, I came across the CIA World Factbook and told myself that I would read it annually and that I would stay abreast of the trends. And, for those who don't know, the CIA publishes what the agency refers to as national intelligence estimates. Estimates that relate to and pertain to certain types of strategic information for each individual country. You have disease information, the spread of certain disease vectors. You have business trends, over the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. You have climatological data, information, the proliferation of certain weapons and non-proliferation trends and initiatives, rather. And so when you begin to think in terms of what is available in the World Factbook, it's it's like collecting baseball cards or football cards, or if you're into Magic, the game Magic, if you're into collecting stamps, if you're a collector of magazines or comic books, or if you're a collector in general of just anything, the World Factbook is something to be collected. And why not? I mean, it's essentially an atlas, an annual atlas that you don't have to pay for. It's available for free, courtesy of the U.S. government. And it tells you things about the planet that you wouldn't otherwise know. Now, you can get and glean certain information from different world atlases, different books, different journals, different periodicals, but when you see the way that the CIA puts it all into context, you really get this world view that you don't get anywhere else, and that's why the CIA is world-renowned for its publication of the World Factbook. 2010, naturally, the World Factbook, the CIA World Factbook 2010, is by far the best source of country information in the world out on the market. It's available at Amazon.com. I believe I saw that it's available for free download. So there you have it. You can get the information for free. And what I wanted to say that I found to be rather useful and helpful with regard to this current edition is that, unlike in the past, when you go to the CIA.gov website, where you can find the World Factbook, and you can also find it in a number of other places, as the CIA allows for individuals to post various sections of the World Factbook and reprint it, just as long as they give proper credit to the CIA. You'll find that the new feature is that you can expand certain areas of the World Factbook compendium, and you can see information in kind of a tailored format so that you can see it all at the same time, so to speak, or you can see it in a collapsed form in individual chunks here and there, interspersed, spread throughout. It gives you a way to visualize information differently, and then you can also compare one country's information to another country's information. Highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. New 2010 CIA World Factbook. Check it out.